Handy Hudsonite here. If you have AirPods Pros and they're not feeling comfortable, they don't stay in your ears very well, or they just feel loose after a while when you're working out, I'm going to show you a way that they will stay in, they'll stay comfortable. I also want to highlight a couple of ways that you can improve even with the original silicone tips that Apple gives you, so you're not putting out any extra costs. And this may be a great solution for some of you, but it may not be for all. So the AirPods Pros come with a silicone tip. Just so you know that the AirPods Pro do come out of their case a particular way. It's very easy. I don't know why I didn't catch on to this, but you just push them out towards the front with your fingers like this. I was thinking that you had to pull straight up on them like that, which you can, but it's hard when your hands are slippery, but just push them out like that. These silicone tips, I tried them out, had them in my ears for a couple of hours one day, and I was in a lot of pain, and they were just slipping out. I was losing the full active noise cancellation, and they just were not working for me. Now, for some of you, they may work just fine. I tried all three sizes of the ear tips. Apple told me they were a great fit. They were initially, but after a while, they just work their way out, and my ears don't do really well with silicone. So a simple solution to keep these in, if you want to just use the original silicone tips, and there's a guy who I saw on YouTube who did this. He essentially just put the AirPod in and then turned it towards the front like this, and you can feel it snugging up in your ear, and it's not going anywhere. It does look a little different, the fact that it's kind of pointing to the front instead of more diagonally down. It did stay in a little better, but for me, the silicone was still uncomfortable for my ear. Another thing that I've seen done is the cleaning of the tips. So there was someone that used an alcohol wipe like this to clean off the tip of their AirPods and then also their ears, and that can provide a better seal for the AirPod to seat in your ear, gets rid of those oils and that wax so that it stays in better. But I didn't really want to have to clean before every time I used them, or every other time even. It just seemed like a hassle to me. So what I did is I started investigating third-party ear tips. I went through a lot of different brands, looked at the ones with the wing tips, looked at ones that were foam, ones that were more rubber but not silicone, and nothing seemed to really work for me. It either didn't fit, or it was just uncomfortable after a while, or it started to slip out. And a brand that I kept coming across, I kept hearing about, was Comply Foam, and you will notice that their tips tend to be a little more expensive, but they're completely worth it, completely worth the investment. They do come in assorted sizes in one of their packages, but then just the single size of medium or large or small, but you get 3 sets. So if you're not sure on the size, get the assorted pack, and I'll link these all up down in the description so that you can get them on Amazon. And they are black, so they're not white like the original AirPods Pro tips. There it is. So comparing the original AirPods Pro tip to the Comply Foam tip, you'll see that they are very different. This is a foam material. The AirPods Pro is the silicone, and it has this lightweight cover on it. If we compare the inside, you'll see in the original tip that the screen is actually smaller than in the Comply Foam. So to remove the silicone air tips that came with your AirPods, what you can do is just grab this thin silicone and just pull on it until it unsnaps. Don't worry, it's not going to tear or break. It's constructed very well. And then to put on the new Comply Foam tips onto the AirPod, just make sure that you line up the oval shape with the oval speaker here, and You might hear a little snap for it to go on, you might not. It doesn't have quite the snap that the original ear tips have. What you want to do, works best for me, is I actually just squeeze them kind of vertically here. Just squeeze it once and then put it in my ear, work it into my ear, and then after about 15-20 seconds you can feel that foam kind of fill your cavity of your ear, and then the noise cancellation works really well. They're super comfortable. I had these things in for 3-4 hours at a time, or at least as long as the battery allows me to keep them in before I have to charge them again, and they did not slip out. The noise cancellation, like I mentioned, was great. Just way more comfortable than the original Apple silicone tips. Finally, you can see here with the Comply foam tips on here, it does fit nicely into the case, nothing impeding it, so that you can charge it, close and charge it. You don't have to take them off to put them back in the case. They don't clean up quite as well as the silicone with the wax, but I just take a little bit of alcohol, take a wipe to it, and what I do to clean them out, because they will accumulate, I have a lot of earwax, is I cut a Q-tip in half, and what I do is I clean out just put this down in the hole and clean that out to get out the wax that's near the surface. And for the chunks, there seem to be chunks of wax that fall down in, and I put this in and I gently kind of scrape around to get the chunks out. So hope these can work for you if the original tips don't work, or the other third-party tips aren't working for you. Make sure to subscribe to my channel for more tips like this one. If you also own regular AirPods, check out all my videos on how to keep these sounding great. They're notorious for getting clogged up with earwax in that front speaker, and I've got some tips on how to get that earwax out to get your full audio back. You can see the thousands of comments of people that's worked for. Be sure to give this video a like, and I will see you in the next video.